this haircut, we're going to do a 1950 style pompadour. This needs to be a square shaped haircut, so we're going to do square layers across the top and on the sides. And what we're going to do to make this haircut really stand out, instead of leaving it too long on the sides, we're going to do a real close 1 to 2 finger fade or taper around the outline of the haircut. And if you take a look at his hairline in the back here, he has a low hairline, so we want to leave it as low and natural as we can. We're not going to taper it way up here. We're going to work with what he has. It grows from left to right, and we want to fade all this out. We're going to give him a nice neck shave to get rid of the beard on his neck. You know, and as we work our way around, again, the challenge with this haircut is it grows in a circle around his head and it grows straight forward. So we're going to have to leave some of the length here and condition it properly so we can get the hair going back. So most likely we're going to use the front length here as our guide, and then we're going to slowly cut it a little bit shorter towards the back, so the front is the longest part of the haircut. But with all that being said, the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and shampoo him and condition his hair before we start. The front has to be the longest portion of the haircut, so this is kind of the angle of the hair that we want. So to accomplish this, we're going to have to use an over direction technique, where we're going to over direct the front all the way to the back here when we start cutting. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to stand in the front, I'm going to comb through the front of the hair, and I'm going to over direct it all the way to the front of the ear. So if you can see, I'm lined up with the front of the ear, and I'm just going to take a little bit of hair off. What I want to do here is I want to just make sure that we have a square shape. I don't want to take too much hair off. The majority of the hair we're going to take off is going to be around the outline of the haircut or in the tapered area to make it really stand out. So I'm going to get my center guide. I'm going to comb the hair straight back down. I'm going to come from the front again, over direct it back to the same spot, to the front of the ear, and I can see my center guide. We need the weight of this hair to go back. This is going to be part of the top as we dry it back and style it into the pompadour, so we don't want to have too much of the weight taken out. So what I want to do is I'm going to comb the bangs out of the way, all this area here out of the way. And I just want to smooth out this area here. And when I say smooth it out, we're just going to do a little bit of light scissor and comb, not taking very much hair at all, and giving ourselves a guide for when we go into our clipper cutting around the edges to get that nice taper. So basically what I'm doing the same thing as if I was to pick the hair up at 90 degrees all the way around and cut it with scissor over fingers. The hair is just too short and it's difficult to pick up that way. It's much easier to use your scissor over comb technique. And the key here is that I want to keep this very low because I want to leave myself another 1 finger width to blend it in, because we're going to have an extreme degree of graduation because we have a lot of hair on top. So when I say an extreme degree of graduation, from very short to very long very quickly. So 45-degree angle around the outline of the haircut. Now, and the reason why we use the scooping motion is because if you look at how long the blade is, if we get the blade completely on the side of the head, we're up way too high and we've blown the haircut. So we're just either going to use a scooping motion this way or a 45-degree angle coming around the outline. Now we're going to take our clipper comb, and we have to make sure that we have an extreme angle and follow that angle, because we don't want to cut into this sides and back area. We just want to blend out around the edges. So that's going to comb back in there nicely. So there's very minimal blending to do when you use a detachable blade clipper. Okay, and as we work our way around, I'm using the tips of the teeth on the comb, and that's cutting and blending at the same time. If you want to take a little bit more, you can push the heel of the blade more to the comb. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a light cream in his hair, and then we're going to dry it. The comb and the brush and the dryer all move in the same direction. We're going to dry it all the way up and to the back in this direction, and then in the front we're going to dry it straight up and pull it down to create some lift in the front to give it that pop effect. Rub it in through your hands really good. Really get it in through those sides and in through the top. And then you could either use your fingers or you could go back in through with the vent brush. What I think we're going to do for this haircut is we're going to leave the top just with the finger styling, and then I'm going to go through the sides with the vent brush. Now the style is complete. We're going to give you the quick 360 view.